Okay, so it's
Oh my gosh.
not a good intro unless we don't know what we're doing. Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Alignment Shift. We don't know what we're doing, but we're doing a great job at it. So, joining me tonight, as always, we have people laughing in the background while I'm talking and don't know what I'm missing.
There's a cat.
There's a cat. We are joined by Steven.
What?
Alex.
Hey,
Mackenzie.
That's me.
George.
Huh?
Kayla.
I am a flower.
Elena. No, you're not. You're a pineapple. Don't lie.
I was gonna
Why
say.
am I the only one who doesn't get her real name said?
Just to make you ask that question.
It's somebody
Did it
different
work?
every week.
Peggy.
Easier to pronounce.
He's never said my real name.
He just did.
Because it's
Yeah,
easier
now
to
he
pronounce.
Now that she
Hey,
doesn't
well,
count.
Lena's easier than Peggy.
Pegalicious.
Pegasaurus Rex.
I like that
accept
one.
all of those names.
Peg leg.
Peg Strauss.
P Money.
Peggy
Hey,
the
my
friendly
My
dinosaur.
name isn't the only name that has worked around in thousands of different frickin'
And
nicknames.
I am your wonderful dungeon master, Cal.
Yay!
Yay.
Baby Kale.
And
Cal
I'm not
wishes.
gonna lie, I'm horribly unprepared for tonight because
We all
I mean, let's face it, I should be working, but instead, I wasn't. So
Were you playing Minecraft?
Yeah,
I
we
was
took up too
not.
much of your time with Minecraft.
no, I was not playing Minecraft. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I suffer from procrastination and
Okay.
depression, and when I should be working, instead I'm not.
Minecraft
so-
doesn't help.
Same.
So starting tonight's
So that
episode,
is counseling night.
yeah, when I was 5 years old.
Oh no. We're not getting.
We're going way back. We're going way
Yeah,
back.
I don't think we have enough degrees in the room.
I think we
I
have
was
time
thinking of afraid of
tonight.
flashbacks.
We don't even have the
So-
right degrees.
Keeping
I
on
have
a
track.
minor
70
in
degrees in my room.
Alright.
Keeping on track. We're gonna dive in. From last week, we finally arrived at Keru Village, where we finally got to meet face to face Master Masuta, the de facto leader of Keru Village. So there does not seem to be much in the way of political structure in the town. He finally got to meet his spirit in Vale, and they exchanged words as well as blows. Some cunning acrobatics were had in the fight. New abilities were observed. They ended up fighting in the rafters and falling from the rafters and jumping from the rafters, and it was all very epic. And Vale managed to squeak in one last good hit, and she defeated Masuta barely with enough hit points herself. So, Masuta, impressed by your tenacity and ferocity in battle, has opened the way into the inner sanctum of Keru Village, the temple that they're guarding, in the exchange that you will help them in the future. As you all stand there, the doorway opening, a couple of the other priests seem to come in, and they drape around your shoulders a green silk robe. Kayla, you turn your eyes out the doorway, over the horizon, the midday sun being blocked out by large storm clouds coming in from the north. Rain is coming toward Keru Village. However, in the midst and thick of a massive storm, many miles away, Glaive Van Alta is crouching through the underbrush, following a very thin track through the woods. In the direction pointed out by a rescued merchant, you have been searching for the entrance to the platinum mine that had been alluded to your party. After a couple days searching and about half a week's journey you eventually come upon the overturned rowboat in the middle of the forest. However, it is not inconspicuously placed. However, it is actually placed up against a tree. And as you look around the surrounding area, you see fresh, heavy laden wagon tracks in the mud around you, leading north out of the woods. And as you follow them back, you begin to hear voices through the woods, people talking, arguing, as well as the metallic sound of a axe hitting stone. You have crouched in the underbrush and are now watching as in a hidden grove in the ground, a very small cave, a group of mismatched, let's call them adventurers, people in chainmail and gambeson, wielding axes and swords, are loading heavy crates onto wagons from inside this cavern. You watch as one of them bumps the crate against the wagon, and this glistening silver chunks of rock come scattering across the ground as they frantically push to put them in the crates. What are you going to do, Glaive?
Huh. That seems like an awfully bad thing to happen. Wait. Animate objects?
That's a wonderful spell.
Yes.
It is, and I have it.
Freaking Mickey Mouse Disney and make them walk into your bag.
I'm going to make sure that I can before I do. But yes, that is my intention.
That's funny.
That's great.
DM is suddenly looking up a spell.
So am I.
You get a
Animate object.
point.
Objects come to life at your command. Choose up to 10 non-magical objects within range that are not being worn or carried. Medium targets count as 2 objects. Large objects count as 4. Huge targets count as 8. You cannot animate any object larger than huge. Each target animates becomes a creature under your control until the spell ends. As a bonus action, you can mentally command any creature you made with the spell. Yada yada yada. Decide what action they will take. Or you can issue a general command, such as guard a particular chamber or defenses. Once given an order, creature continues to follow until its task is complete. Oh my word.
Or beat man helplessly.
Oh, isn't that what level was that? This is 4th?
5th.
That's fifth.
That's 5th.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to cast animate objects, giggling maniacally, and I'm going to have all those little rocks start dancing around people.
Okay, so you're going to have 10 of these small platinum rocks start to dance?
Dance and evade. Yes.
Evade,
Paul's gonna
gotcha.
love this.
Okay, so as you cast the spell on the pile of small rocks and the bandits are scrambling to pick them up, one of them suddenly moves away from their hand. And the guy kind of looks down for a moment, confused. He reaches for the rock again, and this time it bounces another couple feet away. He looks at the other guys who have also seen this kind of happen. They all just kind of stare for a moment and look at him and just kind of like give him a nod like, well, pick it up. He takes the 2 steps forward to get on the direction of the rock, and all of a sudden the rock unfolds itself into the shape of a small golem-like creature and begins to run away from him. And he suddenly begins to, you hear him just scream, hey, get back here, and start running after the small rock. The other guys, very confused, reach down at the ground to pick up another rock, and they too turn into these small, crude, humanoid-shaped beings that run away from them. And you just see these 3 bandits frantically chasing the small rocks in the vicinity.
Classic.
See, now this is funny, but I can do better. I can do a lot better. I know.
Clears throat.
And then I have them all start running at the first guy and just start pummeling him.
Oh my word. Alright. Attack status. I have that on here. These are going to count as small.
It was bound to happen.
Okay. So suddenly turning, all of them head toward the first guy. Their little fists raised. Actually, you know what? I think these are going to count as tiny, not small, because small would be like a gnome size.
I agree.
I guess they're going to get a surprise round. So he reaches down and picks one up, actually. And like, I finally got it. I got one. Ow! He drops the first one, which does not seem to have dealt any damage, but as the other 9 of them swarming him, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I just want these platinum golems to beat the
7,
shit out of a guy. And kill him.
8,
I just-
9. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them managed to hit, dealing 1d4 plus 4 damage each.
That's a
Hold
shit-
on here.
That's gonna be a shit ton of damage.
It is actually quite a bit of damage for this. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's a minimum of 30 damage. Minimum.
Excuse me. Math is hard.
I think I saw this in a horror movie once.
Dealing 37 damage to this guard. Let me double check his health real quick. Yes.
This would be how Glaive clears the mine.
You know how like the swarm of bugs just flies over a guy and it's just skeleton left?
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining.
Oh no, I'm not going to kill them.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to be beaten and bruised. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
going to have to go back to town and go, we just found
So-
a mine and then we got beat up.
So the first guy,
Fine.
as they swarm up his legs and begin bludgeoning him with their teeny tiny little fists, he just starts shrieking and like picking them off him and trying to throw them to the ground as they just keep repeatedly like poking him across the body. You hear these sickening small crunches as like a woodpecker hitting into the bone of his skull. Just eventually, he just kind of goes to one knee, and both of the other guys on his side like have their hands on the hilt of their blades, like looking like, "What the fuck do we do?" And eventually, the first guy just drops to his knees, just continually screaming. It's like the scene from Jurassic Park 2 with the compies, where he's just like ripping them off of him and throwing them, but they keep coming over and over, and eventually, he just falls to the ground, writhing underneath them as their tiny fists just pummel the back of his head until he stops twitching.
I'm just imagining The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh god.
That's what I'm imagining.
Oh no.
Well, now I'm gonna have a bad dream.
Thanks, Glaive.
Are they?
At this point, the other 2 guys pull out their swords and are going to attempt to hack into these tiny platinum golems.
Snuggles
Let's
has
see
said
here.
that's his favorite thing to do with a handful of coins.
Oh my word!
That's great.
This is actually a really powerful ability. I'd never considered this use for it.
Yeah, transmutation.
That will not hit, and the other guy. Oh, the other guy hits.
Whack!
So the first guy swings, misses. They're so tiny he can't seem to get a good swing in on him. However, the other guy, wielding a kind of crude scimitar with a jagged edge to it. Where's this freaking damage? There it is. Deals 2 damage to one of them. However, Glaive, it is back to your turn.
Oh, I command them as a bonus action.
Okay.
This is bad.
Attack the next guy.
They're going to swarm the next guy. And as a standard action, I'm going to pick up a rock. And I'm going to huck it. Yeah. I'm going to huck it, like, right behind them on a bush. And it catches fire. As per my Divine Strike, I can deal a D8 of fire damage on a weapon attack.
Wait, is that Paladin?
That doesn't count. Those paladin abilities don't count on ranged abilities, I don't think.
No. The smite doesn't.
It's not smite.
Oh. You said divine
It is called Divine Strike.
Oh, divine strike. Yeah, I think you said smite. Never mind.
Okay. Okay, and for sake of brevity, due to your level, the level of these creatures, and the hit points of these bandits, in the next 30 seconds, your tiny minions and you, all 3 of them lay beaten and bruised on the ground with very shallow breaths, their faces and arms covered in just these tiny, teeny tiny little bruises. But you continue to hear the pick sound from inside the cave.
Go, my children.
And you watch as the tiny swarm of platinum golems begin marching in toward the cave.
Beaten we will go, a beaten will we go. Hi ho, a beaten we will go.
Are you going in with them?
Yes. This is
All
a
right.
bad decision, but yes.
Hi ho, it's off to work we go.
So as you come in, following your teeny tiny little friends, you see the chamber kind of opens up, and the glistening veins of platinum have been depleted in this area. You see large carts that have been collecting the fallen rocks pushed over to the side and shoved over. As you follow the hammering deeper and deeper, it opens into a slight turn where you see now 5 bandits, one of whom still working on the wall, the rest of them kind of scooping up bits of rubble and pushing them into other carts, all kind of grumbling about the work and such like. And in the other corner of the room, you see, or make a perception check.
They're over here. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Digital character sheet. Come to me. I could have sworn I had perception trained, but I don't. I have a 15. 15 total, sir.
15 total. Yeah. So looking around the room, it's very dark and torchlit. You see what appear to be a couple of figures also in the corner near a conjoined room. But you can't really make out details as to what these figures are. They're kind of crouched low to the ground and in the shadows.
Well, first off, we're not going to deal with them. Chaos, my minions. Chaos. I'm having too much fun with this.
Yes, you are.
That's what you tell them, Chaos, my minions?
Yeah, steel belts, tie shoes together. Hold on,
Oh.
Are they intelligent enough to do that?
No,
They have 3s. They do not know how to tie
Yeah.
shoes.
they do not. But mayhem they can cause. I'm just trying to find a good figure at the moment while I complete this. It's funny when you type in a search for a figure and you just get a whole bunch of like half-naked women. And you're like, that's not what I was looking for. Why is that on here?
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should clear your search history.
On Roll20, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Never
was
mind.
yes, I was talking about Roll20. Sure, that'll work. Okay. So, almost done. So, you say, "Go forth, my minions," and they kind of run forward into the room. One of them comes up and just grabs onto the shoelaces and pulls on one of the guards as he walks by, who takes one step forward, and you just hear him, "Whoa!" And the bucket he was carrying scatters across the floor in front of him as he falls face first into the dirt. Another one of them runs up toward the guy who was using the pickaxe and just full on tackles him from behind and knocks him into the rock he was mining and kind of rides him piggyback style around the room as he's kind of frantically spinning around, attempting to get whatever's on his back off. You see all the other guards rush and pull out their blades and begin hacking. Are we going to run this as combat right now?
If you want to, we can. I feel like we're just going to be throwing two armies at each other.
A little bit. Roll initiative.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, that's the point.
Don't be. This is entertaining.
Well, that's poor. 7.
You go first. Actually, no, let me do one more roll. Yep, you go first.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
I rolled a
Okay.
1 and a 5.
Oh. Alright, none of those domain spells are going to be of any help.
Oh, fuck. Drop my phone. Sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just dropped my phone. It kind of yanked my ears.
Okay. Well, let's see. Oh, I don't have that spell anymore. I need to fix that. We're going to bonus action. I'm going to have them continue doing damage to anybody there, and I'm going to use Toll the Dead to knock people out. If I can do that with a non-lethal manner.
With Toll of the Dead, no, I do not believe Toll of the Dead can be done non-lethal.
Oh, well then that's terrible because I have nothing that can be non-lethal. Everything Glaive is murder. You know what? I'm just gonna hang back and have my people do their thing.
Okay.
Whenever the spell runs out, then Glaive will act.
So roll your attacks on the 5 guards.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 5. Rolling a fistful of d20s. I usually do this as a DM. Oh, somebody got a natural 20. All right. Here is their stuff. Plus 8 to hit. Wow, plus 8. Okay. 28, 14, 17, non-natural 20, and an 18.
Everything above a 12 hit.
So everything.
Yep.
Oh, mother, may I?
You may.
2, 3, 4, one more. There we go. I'm rolling a fistful of d4s. This is not as fun. Let's see. 3 of them take 8 damage.
8.
Then we have a 5, a 6, and a 7.
Is that with the +4?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So in the first round, they all begin frantically attacking, swarming over each of these men. None of them seem to go down like the first bunch did. However, they begin to fight back. As they do, however, a voice rings out through the cave. Will you stop that? I say, will you stop that?
No.
You see a you see a figure from the back of the room, and one of that dark area in the conjoined rooms. A figure comes out wearing a very thick burlap-style robe covering his entire body. His face, you see, beneath the hood, is covered in bandages, and his hands are wrapped completely around himself. You can't see any exposed skin on his figure, but he's walking forward, arms raised, hands extended out. Outwardly toward you.
I will approach. All of my small golems are just holding mid-punch.
He turns away from you and like to the bandits around the room. Will you put away your sword? Put away your sword. I said this man right here is very clearly a powerful individual. I haven't gotten to make your acquaintance before. And I must say, I've never seen a Goliath with such power and arcane understanding. I'm intrigued, I must say. What might I call you, good sir?
Your accent makes me want to take a very hot shower and clean myself with steel shaving.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Now,
Uh,
now, I want to know why it is you are inside my mind.
Oh, there has been a grievous misunderstanding, my friend. I was not aware that this man was under your protection, then, my friend. I was under the impression that this was an abandoned location.
Why do you think there was a boat over the hole?
My understanding was that it was attempting to be hidden from unscrupulous characters such as, well, let's be honest, such as myself. However, it appeared to have been there for quite some time, so we decided to take our liberties with it. However, I do grievously apologize. Is there any way we can make it up to you?
Player to DM, question.
Sure.
How many carts are actually inside of the mine?
There appears to be about 3 carts currently inside them.
Okay.
And it looks like this would be the last shipment of the platinum in here. Everything else has been ripped dry, and these are the last ones being loaded up.
Well, okay then. How about you tell me exactly where all this beautiful platinum happens to be going?
Oh, I'd be more than happy to share that information with you. However, I am not privy to that knowledge. See, I'm a member of a greater organization myself. I can tell you how to get in touch with them. And as a matter of fact, I'd be most interested in having you join along with us. We need strong, able bodied men and, well, people who have more of a brain than these buffoons around me. And I'm sorry to say, but having been stuck in a mine shaft with these individuals for the past week and a half has been tedious, to say the least. I have need of people like you, and my organization has need of people like you. So, this incident with the platinum aside, would you be interested in serving your country?
Oh. Oh. Oh, my word. This country is certainly something. I'm afraid you misunderstand, sir. I do not belong to this country, but I do serve one who does. And she will not be taking very kindly to you offering this position. I'm assuming
And
domestic.
you are, as I assumed, an intelligent individual, and I'm sorry to hear that. But being an intelligent individual, I trust you are familiar with the existence of a stalemate. Correct? You know what a stalemate is, my friend.
I'm aware.
What about innocent lives? What do you think about good people of this country? Do you think that their lives deserve to be lost for, monetary reasons, that the average citizen should suffer due to this war?
Whether or not I believe it, it is going to happen.
Well, he as you say that, he pulls back his hood, and you see the top half of his face is not bandaged, and you see now his eyes beneath what was the hood are bloodshot and almost infected looking, and you see next to his head is this kind of bulbous fungal growth coming out of the side of his head. Very elephant man kind of growth coming out of his forehead on the entire right side of his face. The bandage is kind of trying to cover it, but not quite able to do so. And as you kind of see this and look over the rest of his body, you notice odd lumps beneath the burlap robe that he's wearing across his entire body. In that case, I could offer you money. I could offer you gold. I could offer you power. I could offer you a position in our military. However, I can see that you will not do that willingly. So what I will do, he turns around and you see now those lumps that were in the corner, the figures crouching in the shadows. He reaches down and with one hand picks up a woman who was chained and gagged in the corner with one hand and lifts her off her feet. And you see now an elven woman in rough, ragged burlap clothing, and he grabs her by the neck and lifts her off her feet. And one of the other bandits comes over and grabs another elven figure that was in the corner and pulls them out of the shadow as well. I'll be taking my leave. And I'll be taking my leave with the platinum. And as he says that, you hear a voice echo inside your head. A similar voice to his, however, more echoey and also layered with another familiar voice. And the voice inside your head says, "Oh, you could slaughter everyone, and we'll split the platinum 50-50.
What in the hell?
I'm sorry, was my statement not clear, sir? I will be taking that platinum and leaving.
Look, I'm
Oh,
not talking about you. I'm talking about the person that's talking to me inside my head. You just stand there and shut up for a second while I deal with this.
everyone in the room kind of looks around awkwardly. A knife to the elven woman's throat.
Now, voice in my head, what are you talking about?
And I thought I said intelligent.
I mean, they're not going anywhere, are they?
No, we are not.
Okay. I've got somebody offering me half the platinum in here if I just kill everything.
All the bandits suddenly turn and look at the bandaged figure in a quick, jerky motion. You
And I've
what?
got you telling me that you're going to be taking everything. I cast Wall of Fire in front of the entrance to the cavern. I need a minute to figure this out.
As you say that, the bandit that had the elven gentleman by the throat says, "You son of a bitch! You're selling us out!" And he suddenly slits the guy's throat and turns the dagger on the bandaged man. The elven guy falls to the ground, clutching at his throat, bleeding out, and the other bandits turn, pointing their blades at him as well.
I use Healing Word on the gentleman that just got his throat slit. Let's see.
Backing away slowly, the bandaged guy goes into the corner, hands still raised. Well, I can see I am no longer welcome here. And disappears in a flash of light.
What?
Well,
He said he disappeared in a flash of light.
No, I heard what he said.
We get it, George.
But thanks for clarifying.
Got you.
I got it.
And when he disappeared, the woman he had been holding fades in a mirage of magical energy.
Oh,
and you
that's
now see a woman in the corner that looked identical to her, still tied up, sitting on the ground. All the bandits with their weapons drawn are just kind of like looking in the area where he had been. Where the fuck did he go? What the fuck did you do to him?
Huh?
The fuck
Oh,
did you
I'm
do
sorry.
to
I was busy trying to figure out what to do with this whole mess. I didn't do anything. You guys just got double crossed. So,
You got some serious fucking explaining to do.
look, I've got a gigantic wall of fire that I just summoned with a snap of my fingers. Do you
You-
really want to take an attitude with me?
He looks down at one of the little stone golems with its fist still raised to him on the ground. Right. Well, fuck, it's not worth dying over this. It's not fucking worth. Look, I was promised 15% of the whole here if we protected that fucking asshole. Until he got all the way up north, alright? We all will. We were all promised a take of this platinum, eh? Our families have come on hardships, eh? We were just trying to make do, right?
You know what? I'm trying to be a nice guy from now on. So how about this? And then I tell all the little golems to jump into the bandits' hands, and then I cancel out animate objects.
Jump boost! What the fuck?
There you go. There you go. That's what you were promised. A take of the platinum. Now what you're going to do is go as far away from here as possible, so I never see you again, and we'll all be happy. And you'll be alive.
Can I get my family from Kemal first?
Well, yes. And then I cancel out the wall of fire.
What? What's your name?
My name, good sir, is Glaive.
Dave. Huh. Well, we don't really know how to thank you. We don't really know what's going on, but yeah. And he just kind of walks out, and the rest of them kind of look at the platinum in their hand and look at the carts and and where the golems that were now rocks in their hands, and just kind of sidestep you awkwardly. And as soon as they're got their back to the door, turn and run out of the cave.
I'm going to follow them out to make sure they don't run off with that wagon.
You watch as they book it into the trees, all of them heading kind of in a northward direction toward Kymel. That is Kymel, right? I'm thinking the right city. I'm hoping I'm thinking the right city.
West.
All right, I'm gonna finish this.
I'm sorry. Yep. Northwest.
I'm gonna finish this up by casting Sending. The first one is going to be to the smith that actually helped me come to a realization of my new person, the elderly elven gentleman.
Mhm.
Tell him I need help moving a bunch of platinum out of him. Can you work with me on that?
You receive back a disgruntled, "All right."
And then I cast Sending, giving him directions to where the mine is.
I figured.
Good call.
And then my last Sending is going to be to Sabala. Hey,
I'm so
Sabala.
happy.
Just wanted you to know that I have secured our platinum mine from a bunch of bandits. I managed not to kill anyone. I really wanted to.
Just seriously, ma'am.
Sincerely, Glaive.
Love Batman.
And then I cut off the spell.
Is that the 25-word one?
Yes.
I think that is.
Yes.
Then yes.
And she can reply in 25 words.
Okay,
That was
I can
4
reply.
right there.
You have 25 words. to
Okay, I
reply.
didn't say that. I did not say that.
She doesn't know how many words, though.
I feel like he's explained the spell before. He's used it in our presence before.
Has he? Okay.
I mean, totally up to the DM.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
I think she's writing down what she wants to say.
I don't know what
So
to
she can
say.
count it, like.
And the spell times out. He hung up on me.
I mean, this could have, depending on how, if it's lining up exactly with where we are, she could have just a moment to think of what she wants to say.
I love the idea of you guys just walking off somewhere after Vale's epic fight, and then Sapala just stands there, crying a little.
Wide-eyed.
Right?
Tears streaming down her face.
No context.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Kayla's reply.
Hold on, I have 18. I have to figure out my last words.
So
You don't have to use all of them either.
Okay,
Just
so
uh,
Yes, I
Glaive.
do.
What was that, Stephen?
it's completely off topic and out of character, but I thought what Clave did, I thought he had these golems rush up and like hug these guys' hands and then cancel out the spell so their hands were like stuck in
That would
these
be
platinum
hilarious.
That would
I
be
thought
great.
about it, but it wasn't as funny to me.
Hey man, I'll pay you to get these platinum shackles off me.
No, you should have had him come up and just offer them a rock.
Trust me, I'm good for it.
No, Sapala style, but with rocks. I give him a rock.
Yeah, when I cast that spell, I brought the gunslinger's tavern room to life
Oh god.
in a Beauty and the Beast horror type scenario.
Well, back on topic. While Sapala is finishing her message,
got
Glaive.
it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Timing.
Well, when Sipala gets this message, she's obviously crying. I mean, I think everybody guessed that. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is the first she's heard of Glaive. And so she says, Glaive, I am so happy to hear from you. I am proud of you for not killing anyone. Please stay safe. Love, Sipala.
I love how it started out like a letter. So glad, like a pin.
I feel
It's
like
like
that's
my
kind of
grandma
continuity, though.
So
Oh,
Glaive, you get
right,
back,
and I heard the elves.
and you what?
Oh, right about them.
So as you get back this message and you're looking around the rest of the mine, you see the elven gentleman who's still bound on the ground, though no longer bleeding through the neck.
I thought it was a woman.
No, there's a gentleman and a woman.
There's a gentleman that's the one that had his throat slit.
And the woman who never apparently, and she's still just kind of laying on the ground. And as you walk past them into the chamber that this bandaged character came out of, you see before you what appears to be a long wooden table that sits at a inclined 45-degree angle, and on it are a number of shackles, 2 at the bottom and 2 at the top. And the entire wooden frame of this table is stained red with blood. And all around the room you see countless instruments of torture. Knives with jagged serrated edges, rolling pins of spikes and lashes, syringes that are filled with blackened liquid, and this is not a friendly place.
Well, I'm not going to touch any of that because I have people coming here, and I'm not going to be liable for that bullshit.
And just another note, a familiar scent clings to the air, a smell of decay and compost.
Is there a pile of bodies in the corner?
There is not. You see no evidence of other bodies in the area.
Is the smell just generally lingering in the air, or does it seem like it has?
Generally lingering.
Okay.
Potentially came from the bandaged individual.
Oh my god. Then he really should have shaved. Well, not shaved, bathed. One of those.
Well, so, Glaive, what do you want to do from now? Wait for the elves to arrive?
I'm going to, first off, take care of the 2 elves that are here. Use conjure food and water. Create food and water, I'm sorry. And to make sure that they're well fed and
Okay. But basically you're gonna stay here and wait for the elves and come with them back to Singorn to smelt the platinum ore. I'm sorry, I lost you there.
the answer is yes.
Okay. So, as Glaive goes and does about that, we will now switch back southward over the Riffin Mist jungle. The camera pans down, following the torrential downpour that has now fallen on Keru village, as Sapala falls to her knees at the top of the temple steps, as everyone was being led back down into the village for a form of celebratory dinner. Sapala hits the stairs and begins crying, and has sent her reply.
Sapella, are you alright? You're muted.
I heard. Oh,
No, you're good. I can hear you now.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
I talked to Glaive.
Did you?
Yes.
What did you say?
He said.
I wrote this down.
I did. Well, in notes. That he acquired the platinum from our mine,
That's
and
good.
he encountered bandits there, and he didn't kill them.
Okay, and I assume
Love
they
Glaive.
didn't kill him since he sent you a message.
Yes, and he said he loved me, so I mean,
Well, who couldn't love you?
I collapse on the stairs.
Vale, I poke
I
Vale
made
in
it out of the
face.
room.
I poke Vale in the cheek, like, you alive?
Ow!
I'll come over and help her
I
out.
heard everything.
One of the bullywog is like kind of tugging on your sleeve.
What sleeve?
What's
The sleeve of the robe they put around your shoulder.
Yeah. I said, come on, Vale.
Oh, they
it's
put
time
that
to
on
get-
me.
Yes,
Oh.
on you.
I
Oh,
cast Cure
not my
Wounds.
color. All right.
I cast Das Cure Wounds.
I cast support, and I support her as she walks.
Is that a spell? Is there a spell for that?
I just made it.
Oh,
I made it up just now.
such power!
Wizard and
You
I'm
get
rolling
2 hit points. Oh, no, wait. My spellcasting
hell?
ability.
plus your
Hang on,
Double
my
digits.
spellcast. Wait. My
2 hit
spellcasting
points
ability.
does not get me to double digits.
What
You
about
get
you, Renee?
5 hit points.
That does get me to double digits.
Are you better now, Vale?
from 1 to 70. Where are you at?
Ow!
Here's 10.
11.
Come
So
on up.
the
Who can
party is led down the stairs back into the village, away from the entryway to the deeper temple. Around you, as you are led by these 2 other monks into the streets, you see a number of craftsmen, what appear to be a blacksmith who is currently adding clay to the edge of a katana, and you see him quenching it and creating the hamon line along the katana as you walk past, and you see.
Do I notice any fancy daggers?
Make a perception check.
I want a dagger, okay, George? It's good.
your face, George. I didn't
23.
do anything.
23. You do not see any traditional daggers that you are used to. However, you do see a number of small blades, ones that look like the katana, but medium length and smaller, some that are almost no edge at all, but come to like a trident-like point at the end. Several very small knives that are almost triangular in shape. Knives that look like they'd be good for throwing, with 4 different edges pointing out in different directions. Hooked sickle-like weapons, all kinds of different weapons you've never seen before.
Man,
Oh, look at the heck
time
of
that
sword.
I lose my real life shuriken. Where'd it go?
Tiny sword for Apollo. Sorry.
But you're led into the village, and in the very center, a massive bonfire has been erected. People are playing instruments, and they appear to have been aware that you were here and what you were doing. And there is a jovial atmosphere as drinks are passed out among you. A very familiar smelling cinnamon whiskey type drink is passed out to all of you. But what would you like to do with your evening here?
What time is it?
Late afternoon, maybe 2 o'clock.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Bro,
Your evening is yours.
what I really want to once I know Vela said, are you good enough to stand?
Yeah. Yeah, I can stand.
I will find the Master Frog's name.
Masuta.
Masuda.
Masuda.
Heckin' Masuda.
Because I know he'll understand me. And I ask him, excuse me.
Yes.
Do you have any shops?
Keru village is home many. Oh, wrong accent.
You're getting more of a Russian accent than a bread comrade.
Although,
So
you
robust.
did a really good southern accent.
Thank you.
Don't do that again.
I felt at home.
Same.
I wanted to die.
Well, hopefully he'll be a recurring character, though. We'll never know.
I mean, you
I
can
know.
take him.
He's gonna be a recurring character.
Sarenrae, I've been trying to do better, but I'm gonna make an exception.
Anyway, Japanese. We have many shops in the village.
Could you point me to one that sells jewelry, like possibly bracelets or something?
You will want Sakura's. He points over, and you see just a kind of a small house on the edge of what you could consider the center of Keru Village. Actually, appears to be a swamp, a very large, almost diamond-shaped swampland with many cattail reeds sticking out of it. On the western side is where the buildings, the Bullywog style buildings, more as opposed to the more ancient structures in the area. You see a small open storefront, and inside is glistening with jade and sapphire colors, all kind of forming these scarab-like bug trinkets and very insect-like jewelry that seems to be the typical motif of the Honyos, or not the Honyos, the Bullywog people.
Thank you. Is there other people that can do the communication thing like you? The tongue of the sun and moon, you said?
Any of the higher-ranking monks in the village would be able to understand.
Okay, because I currently at my current ability do not have the capability to understand every language. I know of quite.
Nor does most people in Keru Village, but you will find them very accommodating. We are a peaceful people.
Okay, I appreciate your time, and I will walk to where he pointed.
All right, so you walk over, passing a few of the other shops. You see a lot of food vendors and many drinks being passed out, and it appears to be a celebratory occasion, not just for Vale, but they seem to be freer here than in Honyosai. When you came in Honyosai, every single person was working, everyone was making the most of the day to be productive in a very ants in an ant farm colony sort of way. But here you just see people, or frogs rather, just sitting on the porch and smoking a pipe. Tadpole-like children running through the streets playing with balls and hoops.
Now I gotta
People,
find a picture of
tadpole children. And you generally gain the atmosphere that this is a free town. You do not even see armed guards around the village as you walk around. Everyone seems to be policing themselves. And as you approach the shop, you see a bullywog female, Sakura, as she had been pointed out to you by Masuta. A 3-foot-tall bullywog woman, her face painted completely white with red, rosy cheeks in the corner and bright red lipstick on, with deep black eyelashes, very geisha kind of style, with a long kimono and a fan. As you come in, she turns to you, her eyes brighten, and this big, white, toothless smile comes across her pale inner lips. And as you come in, you just see her just jovially,
Oh no.
I don't know why, but I was expecting, hello!
Right?
We
don't
got,
hate
like,
me, but I've never seen that movie.
It's fine.
junk merchant on Tatooine right here.
Right?
Oh, God.
I give a. I've probably seen this before, like the bow when greeting, correct?
As you give the bow to her, her eyes widen even further. She goes into a bow herself.
20,000 gold. 20,000 gold.
I'm gonna do a quick look around, and do I see any bullywogs that look like to be higher ranked monks?
So looking around, you recognize the green robes that Vale is now wearing, and and several of the two that put the robes on her in the first place, trailing next to her, kind of continuing to aid her and staying close by as she goes through Cairo Village. Probably the nearest ones.
Is it like too short for me?
It vary.
Yeah,
It's
okay. It's their size.
It's their
Are
size.
they all my height?
They are
Yes.
all your height, Sapali. Yep.
I'm so excited. I thought they were taller than me.
So those are the closest two?
Those are the closest two, yep. And just to note, like, yes, these ones are all Sapala's height, but the Han Yosai samurai are 6 foot tall, as a note.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly ear over to the Veil. Can you have one of your friends there look my way, or send one my way? Tell them I need help translating.
Do you speak common?
No.
Cool. Can you assist my friend over there with translating?
Yep.
Thank you.
Oh no, this reminds me of my coworker. He doesn't say very much.
Short and to the point. I like it.
The one just kind of gives you a short bow and walks over to Xavier.
Appreciate it.
Doesn't even say a word as he comes up. Just kind of has his arms folded in front and walks into the shop and looks at you and just kind of staring unblinkingly toward you.
Can you ask her if she has any pairs of bracelets that have possibly like a ruby in them?
Yep.
Thanks.
Takes
New
a few
favorite
steps.
character.
Takes a few steps forward to her. You hear him converse with her for a very brief, very quiet, like 2 words come out of his mouth, and she just frantically begins pulling out every single piece of jewelry she has that's a bracelet, and piling them on the table in front of you. And you see just maybe 30 different bracelets by the time she has run around the entire store. Some of them, for your size, would be for them a gaudy bracelet, but for you a rather thin, elegant wristwatch style bracelet with every one of them has almost like a scarab beetle motif into them with the T section carved into the back. One in the shape of a dragonfly that goes down the entirety of the forearm, gilded wings going across the back.
Are there?
Sorry.
Can I find? Are there any pairs that would have to go together?
Yeah, you see, there are duplicates of each that could be worn on either arm.
All right. Do they? I just want 2 simple ones. If they don't have a jewel, that's fine. But just 2 simple, possibly just little golden ones that look the same.
Okay. You do find 2 that are, by her standards, very simple, but each one is carved with this intricate golden, almost Celtic-style knotwork going through the entirety of the bracelet around. Probably about 2 inches thick on the wrist.
So like thick like this, or
I can't see you.
You can't see my. No, never mind. I was pointing my
Thick
wrist.
thick like hold 2 fingers up, and that's how thick it is if you wrapped it around your wrist.
Oh, so wrapping. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect because that's about the size of my actual bracelet. All right, can you ask her how much for these?
Yep.
Great compelling characters.
Rolls his eyes and turns to the shopkeep. She says for one handsome no charge.
I bow and how do you say thank you in Bullywog?
Nope.
He turns and walks out of the shop.
I give her a bow and actually hand her a platinum piece.
She tucks it down the front of her shirt and kind of blushes and like waves at you as you walk out.
Nightmares.
Xavier's deep-seated fear of frogs comes to light.
It's about to come true.
All this time.
I just go back and sit next to the fire.
Let's see.
As I'm
Sapala, what do
walking
you do?
by, I walk by Vale. Yep.
What? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
My cat's slapping me with his tail.
Sapala, as you hear, as you're sitting there by the fire, you can't help but catch your toe tapping to the quick paced music that's going around, and you find yourself swept up in this culture around you as your eyes are taken in by the flurry of floral patterns and insect-like motifs around you. What are you doing?
Are
Having
people
a good
dancing?
day.
I'm sorry?
Are people dancing or frogs dancing?
So as you look over toward the source of a group of minstrels, each one wearing this completely plain mask over their face. A group of the bullywogs are around them, kind of hopping around on one foot and then onto the other foot, going back and forth in this rhythm. Their arms held tight to their chest, cross-armed, but their leg work is astounding.
I'd try and join them.
Okay, make a performance check.
Okay. Oh no. Scared. Okay. 12.
Okay. Kind of not as bad as it could have been. You come over and you attempt to emulate them bouncing back and forth, but lacking the bounce in your thighs that a person of this anatomy naturally has. You find yourself getting tired very quickly, and you find yourself hopping along to the music well, but not really to the extent that the rest around you are. But nonetheless, a big smile on your face, and no one seems to mind you dancing along with them.
Yay.
Elena, what are you doing during all this?
I'm kind of just, I guess, staring into the fire.
Okay. Benedictus.
Brooding.
I did not know Bernie was there.
Well, yeah.
His character sheet has disappeared again. Dang it!
You don't need it.
No, I do, because he was going to try and join in the dance too.
Yes.
Is this?
+5.
No, he's got better than that.
+9.
He's
Doesn't.
practically a bard.
He is practically a bard. I will not deny that.
He's the most bard-looking paladin ever.
I kind of love him.
Bardadin.
He's growing on me.
Is he?
Gross.
I didn't know how I felt about him at first, but
Except for he just cut your hair and threatened to kill Glaive.
yeah.
Yep, he totally did that. That's not going away.
Mm.
Now
There
it's
you
now
are. I
it's-
knew you existed.
Battle
It
of the
is a-
boyfriends.
Or
Of the what?
Boyfriends.
don't.
Boyfriends.
More like Battle of the Jungle Pits.
Battle of the really tall people.
See Paul's
Level
wife.
one. He has the ability to hit harder. A lot harder. All right, then. Benedictus wants to join the fray. Hop. That'll be an 18.
18. Very good. You see Sapala hopping around, take 2 major bounds over to where the music is and begin hopping along to the music just like everyone else. A couple of the bullywog begin kind of laughing and pointing in your direction, and for just a brief moment you think they're laughing at you, but you then realize they are laughing with how marvelous your dexterity is, and dancing to the tune, and suddenly one of the tadpole children jumps up on your back and begins kind of riding Bernie's shoulders as you're hopping around the shoulder, hopping around the circle with Sapala and the rest of the village.
Nice.
Oldores, what are you doing during this?
Well, Doris is well, I'd like to think that Uldoris has kind of pulled away from the group a little bit. Maybe tried to find a place where he's not completely surrounded by strange frog people and Elena. And
Totally
Damn.
understand.
He's I'm watching a delay on Twitch. I just saw Peggy go, "Oh yeah." He'd probably have his hood up. Not that it does much because there are holes for his horns, so people knows that he's there.
That's kind of hood.
But yeah, he's kind of distant right now.
So
He's staring at his shadow on the ground that should be like involuntarily moving from the fire, and the way it's cast, but it's not moving. It's just staring back at him.
So you found your way over to the edge of the village, still kind of in light of the fire, but away enough that you're not in the fray of people dancing and not near the hopping, dancing people that you don't want to partake in again. As you walk over toward the edge of the swamp, you find a large statue of a tiefling that is crouched down with a hand on its chin in a contemplative form.
Did you just create the thinker in Tiefling? Is that what
I don't
you
know.
just did?
Yes, that is what I was referencing. Yes, thank you, Elena.
Sorry.
I was gonna mention it, but I didn't want to interrupt.
You come over and look at the statue for a moment and kind of breathe to yourself. And as you do, you hear a kind of wet slap in the ground next to you, kind of padding up next to you, and you see Masuta approaching you from the side as you sit there in the quiet.
I had a feeling you would eventually want to speak with me.
He stares at you for a moment, eyes unblinking, studying you. Who are you?
That's a good question. And he turns and kind of forces a smile at Matsuta. And I am struggling to find that out now myself. I don't know anymore. Or I'm becoming afraid of who I'm supposed to be.
There is great wisdom being afraid of who you might be. You can drop the fake smile. You do not need to hide behind a flash of teeth.
Yeah. Hiding is kind of always been my thing.
But there is great wisdom in the path to finding oneself. Some spend their whole lives trying to do it. You are not alone. But it is only on the path to finding yourself. You often find it was already there the whole time. And he gestures toward the rest of your group over by the fire. Are they not part of you?
You have already found your spirit.
I do enjoy my time with them. Mostly. I think I got in a little over my head. They're good people.
You can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep. The one that came to Honno-Yosai before you kept the company of thieves, beggars, and mercenaries, and claimed to be the child of light. What company do you keep?
And he turns and looks back at the rest of the group. The way you talk about Vale makes me wonder.
She is incompetent.
She tries very hard, though.
That is why she is of the spirit.
Matsuda.
Yes.
I am worried. I am worried for your people. I will not use who everybody thinks I am supposed to be to legitimize anyone's claim to anything. But I am worried for your people.
Do not worry for the Bollywood. We have been here for more than 900 years. Empires rise, empires fall, like waves upon the sand. Yet we are not afraid of the beach washing away.
The Hanyo-sai, they seem intent on making their way here if we are unable to sway them otherwise.
Let them come. We have drink.
He turns and ushers you toward the rest of the group a little bit.
He follows.
He stops for a moment, turns back to you.
You know, you do not always have to follow when someone invites you. I know you do not want to come.
Well, it's not that I don't want to. I just have a lot of other things on my mind.
At those times, I recommend quiet meditation, if Vale will let you.
Uldoris genuinely smirks.
I see you do have a genuine smile in there somewhere.
I guess so. I think I could use some quiet time. I've been trying to make sense of all of this, and I just get very confused. I hear a lot of noise or a lot of silence that doesn't really help.
Go to the temple. You will find my garden in the back, to the left of the room you were in before. It is peaceful there, and you will find many Bollywood go there for quiet contemplation. You will not be disturbed.
Okay, I will do that. And Uldoris kind of bows, like unsure of, how to properly gesture his thanks, but Then he nods and I'll do that. Thank you. And slowly kind of pulls himself away and starts heading in that direction.
Okay. So finally then, Vale, what are you doing?
Well,
Dying.
no, everything I was gonna say kind of just dispersed. Like I figured I was gonna be hanging out with Masuda, then he wandered off.
And yes, you did think you were going to be hanging out with Masuda, and then you turn around and to be seen.
Just a quick question: is he 3 feet tall like the rest, or is he the?
Yep, 3 feet tall.
Okay. Just,
the big guys are from.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
I thought I might have heard that he was taller, but
Uh,
might have just been me.
I don't know. What's going on? They got people dancing.
People dancing, drinks, shops all around.
Elena's brooding as usual.
Elena brooding into the fire. Blacksmith hard at work. Looks like he's fitting the guard onto a katana now.
It feels like Dragon Age, where you're just hanging around the camp, waiting for companions to talk to you.
Right?
So it feels like. Oh, Elena's brooding by the fire. Whatever.
Elena will remember this.
Yes, Glaive is dancing with 3 foot tall people.
Is Liliana around to sing a song for you?
Oh God. It's an unskippable cutscene. No.
Nonduil pulls out a song.
Oh God. I did want to talk about the Nonduil. Just I don't know if I wanted to talk to her right now. I don't know. I guess they'll just kind of hang around for the time being.
Real quick.
Uh,
do you have the DMG?
Does Vale have the DMG or
No,
me?
Cal.
No, I've been doing this game through the past year, and I never had the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Dang.
Sarcasm.
Would you like it?
No, I'm. Well, what do
He's
you want me
being
to look at here?
sarcastic.
No, I thought you had it. AJ, I know you have it. Turn to page 66.
No, I do have it. I was being sarcastic.
Guys, he's being sarcastic.
I mean, you could have easily. Whatever. He didn't say.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I've been
what do
running
you
for a
want? What do
year
you-
without the
Turn to
DMG.
page 66. That describes the first almost hour of the. Just the picture on there. That describes the first hour. That's all I want to say.
66.
First hour or what?
Yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
How hard would it be for you to take
Oh,
that
yeah,
as
yeah.
a picture and put it on our stream?
Well,
It's
we don't own the
copyrighted.
copyright.
We just kind of cheesed it right now. So.
Anyway, so Vale, you're,
Yeah. I guess I'll go talk with the non-dual.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So throughout the party, you kind of make your way around, find kind of near, still to the entrance. Never made their way very far into Carew Village. You see Ananduil and Laura kind of awkwardly standing at the edge. And as you come, what was that?
Did they get like stop at security or something?
So as you come up, Ananduil
awkward.
immediately starts waving at you. Vale!
Oh God, this was a mistake. It's a little wave. Hello, hey,
Vale! Vale!
please don't yell. Why are you standing over here?
Well, you guys went up to the temple and didn't really tell us what to do, so we just kind of stayed here, and then everyone started partying, so we figured you did good, and didn't know what to do, so we're here.
You can hang around by the fire, you know.
I didn't want to intrude. I mean, and Laura's awkward, you know. Shut up. I know you. Shut up. Anyway, so hi.
Did you have a moment to talk?
I mean, I always have a moment for you, Vale. Yeah. What? Like alone? Like you need me to like leave Laura alone or?
Preferably. No offense, Laura.
None taken.
It's fine. Laura and I could be broody together.
Yeah. I think Elena was over brooding by the fire.
Oh, sounds great. She starts walking away over toward the fire.
Oh, sweet brooding party. Let's go.
So
Right.
Ananda
We
will
can
kind of
push
turn.
both of them in at once.
I don't get why.
That was out of character. That was George messing with Peggy.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Vale messing with Ananda.
No, not this time. Do you remember what we talked about last night?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Flips
remember.
notes furiously.
Notes.
No, actually, I am in character, not
I know.
in notes. Yeah, she starts turning blue again a little bit. Yeah, I remember talking last night.
I kind of brushed it off at the time, but is there anything else you can tell me about those people, the ones in Singorn?
All right, brain fart. What are you talking
about? She mentioned the previous night that she knew Vale's last name.
Yeah.
And they were some house in Singorn.
Right.
They were a great house.
And I'm inquiring as to more info about that.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I did remember that. I didn't remember those people. What are you talking about?
Those people.
Those people.
Vale can't bring herself to say family.
Okay, so she kind of takes a moment, trailing off a little bit, and like, well, there's not much left of the Ardrin family. Just the matron of the entire family that was left. There was a woman. She passed away when Amon was burned to the ground, and she'd actually been betrothed to one of the lords of Singorn, but ran away instead. Got kind of what's the word I'm looking for here? Not excommunicated, but banished by her family.
Disowned.
Disowned. That's a good way to look at it. But now they're kind of wishing they hadn't, as only one surviving member is still in Singorn, and they're all just kind of waiting for her to die so that she can join the memory war.
All right.
Why? What'd you want to know?
I think that actually does make me feel a little better.
I almost never make anyone feel better when I'm like this.
Well, there's a party. You can go enjoy yourself.
After all that, yeah. After all that, you want me to go over there and make happy.
I wanted some information. That's all. I didn't intend to bring everything down. It's just
you wanted some closure.
Yeah.
You never knew your mom, did you?
I did, but not for as long as I would have liked.
I'm sorry I didn't know her.
It's no fault of yours.
I already miss home.
Down to like lower level brooding. Jeez.
She turned blue. Come on. Anyway, you go enjoy your party. I'm gonna I'm gonna look at the trees for a bit.
Oh, I have something for you.
Vale, you shouldn't have.
Boy, I don't know how to take that. I pull out my little pike plushie. And I'll hand it to her.
She looks down at it as you hand it to her, and you kind of see her blush a little bit and kind of turn a little green. A mixture of red and green kind of inner. What's this?
It's a little doll of pike. I picked it up in Whitestone several. Oh god, it's been months ago. It's a bit
She starts laughing. It starts small and looking at this little plush gnome.
It's hard to put into words. It I don't want to use the word closure again. It gave me a bit of support when I needed it.
As she's laughing, she throws her arms around you, and you can see
Oh
she's
god, no.
turning green again, and she's
Not like this.
"You are the best." And she doesn't let go.
Did I just make a friend? Is that what this is?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, okay. Please stop.
Oh, it's sorry. Ah, it's so cute.
Oh.
She starts like wiggling the plushie around and like fiddling with its plushy mace. Go enjoy your party. I am going to look at the trees though.
All right, I extricate myself quickly.
Okay. Yes.
Did I notice a non-duel turn blue?
Make a perception check.
Okay. I'll roll my table damaging die. I'm glad I chose that. That's a 24.
Yeah, you kind of saw from the periphery of the encampment her conversation with Vale and her turn blue during it.
All right. When she starts to turn blue, and this is near the end of their conversation, I apparate beak as close as I can. I'm probably a good far distance where I can't get him all the way there, but he just hops up to her.
So as she's turned back green again with the plushie and looks down and finally sees Beak there. Oh, hello, little friend.
He just and gets on her head.
I can't for the rest of the night.
It's great.
And she just holds there with a beaming smile, looking up, like without tilting her head back at all, and just staring up at where Beak is on top of her head.
He just starts to lay his wings in front of her eyes and go like the peekaboo style thing.
A dog in the area just fell over dead.
That is all.
Okay.
I think I was gonna wander off and attempt to find Masuda if he's
Sure.
willing.
Make an investigation. And can I just say that Ananduil is one of my favorite characters to voice. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun to be the Elven Valley girl.
Modded 20.
Okay. Yeah. So you walking through the village, you head eventually back toward the temple. Not quite to the steps yet, but you see Masuta just kind of standing at the base of the steps, his back to the temple stairs, facing the entire village. His arms folded inside the robes that he's wearing. His eyes flickering in the firelight as you approach.
Does he appear to be meditating?
No, and as you approach,
Spirit. I was wondering when you would come to me.
I'm not a spirit. Is it just because I telepathically communicated, or
You
doesn't
still
matter.
don't understand it.
Likely not.
You will in the time.
I hate to bring it up now, but we need to know what we might face inside the temple.
But isn't the journey part of the lesson?
As well as being prepared. And it's easier to be prepared if one is informed.
I can inform you little. You will find the inner sanctum, a beautiful place, a land lost time. Inside, you will also find an inner temple. And how to put this? It is prepared for invaders and trapped accordingly.
All right. Yeah, I believe you mentioned that the first time we spoke.
Yes. So be cautious.
Can you direct me to a place where we could pick up some supplies, some potentially protection or healing supplies?
You will want a Ginjo for potion, and Junmai for armor.
Okay. All right. I guess lastly for now, is there a place where we can stay the night?
You are welcome to stay at the temple. We do not have a bed and a breakfast.
Oh, that's fine. Just preferably somewhere not exposed to the elements.
The temple would be the best place.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night, Spirit.
All right, you as well. I'll bow again. And I will go try and find these people he was talking about.
All right, I think that's where we'll take our break for the night.
All right, sounds good. All right, then we'll be back in 10.
Back in 10.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
We're back. Hello.
Humans.
Did you miss us? I missed you.
Did you miss us, Snuggles?
I miss Snuggles.
#1 fan.
Yeah, totes.
Wait, who heard me? They heard me say it's so much fun to be the Elven Valley Girl. Did I say that during the stream?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought that was Austria. Okay.
No, you're that tired.
Hi. So, picking up where we left off, the party is raging, and Vale is looking for either Ginju or Junmai.
Yeah, the second one first.
Junmai, the armorer?
Yeah.
All right. Did you roll an investigation?
No.
All right. Roll an investigation.
Oh, God.
With advantage.
Oh, dope.
Xavier's gonna spend the rest of the night scribing a first level mage armor scroll.
Okay, Did you say 30?
13.
13. All right.
I am not smart enough to get a 30.
So
Yeah.
I was confused. So with the aid of your
Awesome. My
with the
keen
aid of
sense of
your
direction.
with the aid of your monkey bodyguard,
Oh.
your monk bodyguard.
I get it.
Hunky bodyguard, but
Yeah.
I get it. I like it.
dig it.
You eventually piece together that Junmai, the armorer, is probably that blacksmith that's been working nonstop during this entire encounter. So eventually you make your way over to his forge. You see a large clay furnace setup with a blasting bellow system as he is currently heating up a what appears to be a much longer, wider blade that appears to match some of the naginatas that are on the wall behind. That he is drawing out on an anvil now as you come in.
All right, I'll take a look a bit. Good evening.
Yeah.
I was hoping to browse your
Yeah.
wares. Oh dear.
As the monk turns to you, you said no. So
Okay.
you wait as he's pounding on the naginata that's on the anvil. You watch as the glow from the blade turns from a bright white down to a dull orange to almost its regular steel color. And when it does, he puts it back into the furnace, pushes the bellows a couple of times, then turns back to you, pulling off the sweat-soaked bandana he had around his head and lets down this thick, greasy, blackened hair that almost looks like seaweed that falls over his shoulders as he turns to you. Anyone here? Yes, is now what do you want?
I was hoping to browse your wares.
He translates for you, turns back. Then browse. You do not need to talk to browse.
I was wondering if you had anything of an enchanted or magical sort. Masuta directed me here, and I was hoping to find something.
I'm just going to directly translate so I don't need to keep going back and forth.
Right.
What kind of a magic were you looking for?
Some sort of protection.
Protection from what?
I'm trying to say it in character.
All right, well, tell me out of character so I know what you're looking for.
I don't know. Anything that protects from physical or magical attacks. Just stuff. Browsing.
He does not seem to have much in the way of magical wares. He does have lots of armor, and the enchantments that they do have that is magical are just simple +1, +2s.
Right. Well, I mean, It's just like +1, +2 weapons and armor.
Yes.
Okay, so like masterwork stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay. So yeah, I guess that'll awkwardly get concluded. God, I hate doing that in real life. You know, just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm just looking. No, I'm not gonna buy anything. Okay, bye.
Well, I hate it when I walk into
The
a place and browse, and every single employee is like, "Hi, can I help you find anything?" Like, no, and I didn't need it from the other 4 people that asked me.
Yeah, right.
Just buy a mint and be done with the whole place.
I felt they're very smart about it at Comic-Con because they go like, oh hey, I love your costume. It's like, oh thanks. Hey, have you seen my new thing? I'm just like, oh, I don't actually care. Lure you in.
Anyway.
So yeah, I'll thank him for his time and leave.
All right. So you leave, and with the help of your monk friend, he leads you through the village, where you see a smaller, in the lower tier of one of these almost apartment-style wooden buildings that kind of sink down along the slope of the swamp. In a lower, dank corner, you go in, push open a flimsy wooden door, and inside you see this, for lack of a better explanation, witch doctor hut. Inside you see hanging and dried fish from the rafters, and the smell is overwhelming. A mixture of sage, decay, mold, mushrooms, every single scent that you can possibly imagine from an apothecary overwhelms you the minute you open the door. And as you come in, you see this L-shaped table in the center of the establishment that is just absolutely covered in various potion ingredients. A large mortar and pestle is being ground by the bullywog that runs this establishment, which you assume to be Ginjo. You see an older looking bullywog. His skin is stretched and wrinkled and falling off his face practically with how far it's pulled downward. His eyes are covered by 2 large monocles that enlarge them almost 3 times their regular size through them, but even still he's squinting as he's grinding something into the pestle as you come in.
I just had a great thought. I really hope the Lich is a frog. That had not occurred to me until this moment. Good evening.
Hey!
I don't know what he said.
Where do you want?
Oh. I heard this, you sell potions here.
Hey, you heard wrong. I sell herbal remedies.
That'll do.
What do you got?
What kind of remedies do you have?
And you got chlamydia?
No.
I got stuff that makes
Quote that, please.
that makes the burning go away. I got stuff that makes the itching go away. I got stuff that makes the pain go away. If it ain't supposed to be there, I make it go away. If it is supposed to be there, I make it come back.
What about injuries? Can you make those go away?
Child's play. I can make those in my sleep. I fart healing potions.
That's what you want to hear. Could I see some? Well, that is what I would be interested in.
You want to see some potion? Hey.
He points to the wall behind him. You just see glistening crystalline bottles in each and every one, but all of them kind of cloudied and dusty on the shelves. He kind of turns around, is completely hunched over, and kind of comes up to the counter and kind of pulls over this long step stool, and it grinds against the wood with this horrible screeching sound. And as he lines it up with one of the bottles, he kind of very slowly puts up one foot and then the other foot, and is now just mere inches closer to the bottle, and then puts up another foot, and then yep,
I believe.
eventually he makes his way up to the top of the ladder, which is a mere 4 feet off the ground. And
I misunderstood that so bad.
what?
I thought you were saying he was getting up on the table. And I'm like, how many feet does he have?
Wait for it.
I was expecting him to put a 4th foot up on the table.
He's actually a spider frog hybrid.
Spider frog. Anyway, he gets up to the top shelf, pulls down one of the red vials, and brings it down. Healing potions. There you go. That's a potion of healing right there.
All right. Do you have any greater healing potions as well?
I just gotta throw some toadstool in with. That makes it a bit better. Reaches over to a slightly larger bottle. Greater healing potion.
That's very impressive. You make it look very easy.
It is child's play. All you gotta do is know how things go together.
Makes sense.
It's like making a soup. You start with one ingredient, put in the next one. Not rocket science.
What's a rocket?
I was gonna say, what's a rocket?
Shut up,
Broken the 4th wall.
I broke the 4th wall.
How much would it cost for a regular healing potion, 2 greater healing potions, and whatever else I can think of? Do you have any potions of don't hiss at me. Any potions of resistances?
Resistance, all right. I got plenty of potions of resistance. We got your typical fire resistance. I got your cold resistance. That one's a bit of a bitch. Gotta get yourself scales from an ice dragon for that one. I have. What were we talking about again?
Potions of resistances.
All right. Poison resistance. Necrotic resistance. I got what you're looking for.
How much for the necrotic resistance potion? Plus the other 3 that I have mentioned.
Where's my notebook? I can't find my notebook. Where is my notebook?
It's right there.
I don't think it is. All right, so he rummages around for a moment and pulls out a small ledger. For the necrotic resistance potion, that'll cost you 500 groschen.
Very well. Do you accept gold pieces?
Gold pieces? I haven't used gold pieces since I was in the Empire.
Is that a yes or a no?
Let me see one of them gold pieces.
I will hold out a gold piece, but not let go of it.
He holds out his palm, like extended to you.
Ah, you monster! I will give him the gold piece.
Holds it up to the light, kind of adjusts his monocle or his bifocals, kind of looking at it. Who the hell is that guy?
Do I know?
Do you think you know who would be on the coin of the Taldora Empire?
I would like to think that I know.
I assume you know then, yes.
Okay.
I believe it's Uriel Taldora would be my guess.
Would it be Uriel?
I would assume those were the last coins minted.
Oh, that's right. This is 30 years in the future. Ish. Yeah, it's probably the Emperor Uriel Taldori.
Taldori? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shit's changing too fast out there. Fine. Gold pieces it is.
What's the conversion rate? Is it 1-to-1?
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out what you can only assume to be a groschen, and kind of holds the two up to each other and like, hey, I give you 1 to 2.
Does that mean one gold to 1 groschen?
Other way around,
Or 2
dipshit.
groshens? That's George, okay? George is bad at math.
No, I mean technically you're right. I just had it backwards. So one groschen to 2 gold.
Okay, so my shit's worth less.
Yes. So one would be 1,000 gold for the necrotic resistance potion.
Meh. How much for the other potions? The other 3, the 2 greater and a regular.
Now's when I really do need my notes. Shit. Hang on. Hold the phone.
Teach you to overcharge.
There's your whippersnapper.
Yeah, sure.
There's my notes. They're on the kitchen table. Why are they on the kitchen table? Because
That's where you left them.
Because I was pretending I was going to work on them while I was eating dinner. Pages and pages of notes. Let's see here. My apologies. It's been a long time since I've been on this page. There we go.
I believe it's 150 gold per greater, and I think 50 for a regular.
with the conversion, and I'm not doing the accent right now because it's starting to hurt my throat. It would be about 175 gold pieces for the greater. And you said a superior you wanted to?
No, a regular.
About 75 gold for the regular.
Damn markups. I'm mathing. Suck. How would I give you 400 gold pieces, and I will give you the regular. I'll give you one of the bottles back.
Eh?
I will give you one of the bottles back.
Yeah. All right.
All right. I will pay 400 gold pieces.
And that's for 1 greater and 1 healing?
That was 2 greater and 1 healing.
2 greater, 1 healing. Okay.
Yeah.
So he slides the bottles across the table.
And I will drink the regular one now.
It has a very strong seawater flavor to it, which you weren't expecting. Almost this murky, muddy, unclean taste, and it goes down hard.
I think that's about what I was expecting.
And but you feel yourself being rejuvenated by it. He kind of watches you, kind of studying you through his monocles. Yeah, that about right. Anything else? You sure you don't got chlamydia?
Quite. All right. I will put the bottle back down on the desk.
Puts it on another counter where you see a bunch of empty bottles.
Right. Thank you for your business.
Come back if you get the clap. And you leave.
Oh yeah.
So.
I hate spend.
I think Ginjo is one of my new favorite characters.
Other way around, dipshit.
So, anyone else have things they want to do before
said
heading?
it a certain way. He said it a different way, and I want to give the the diamond from Glaive's bag of stuff to Bernie.
Okay. So you come out and
Because
you see
forgot about
Benedictus still dancing around in Sapala.
Oh, I will definitely wait till that is ended.
Benedictus, when is that going to end?
Either whenever the music stops, or me and Sapala notice Vale and force her into this.
Oh hell no! I'm rolling stealth right now.
Perception from Bernie.
I am wise to this, and I am actively avoiding it. Thank God. Natural 20.
Oh,
I am the wind.
7.
you don't know they're there. So, about 4 minutes pass, and the music kind of stops for a moment. As the minstrels kind of take a quick breather. They're handed drinks by some of the various townfolk. They lift up their masks and begin drinking. And Vale has her opportunity to speak with Bernie.
He's not dancing anymore.
Not dancing anymore, unless you're dancing to no music.
No, I'm trying to get on Sapala's good side, and I'm not doing that.
Alright. I will come up and Sapala, Bernie.
Oh, hello, Vale, friend, amigo, compatriot, ally.
Just Vale is alright. I was getting some supplies, and I picked up some healing potions, and for the upcoming ordeal, I hand each of them a greater.
Thank you.
And Glaive had some supplies with him that he handed to us. And I was wondering if these could be of use to you. And I don't remember what. I mean, it says on my character sheet Glaive's stuff. So.
2 revivify gems worth 300 gold pieces.
Those. I will.
Yeah, I remember because I had to run off with a money sack because you guys wouldn't let me have money.
Because those were yours. Yeah, I will hand those over as well.
And you're expecting to die during this?
It's entirely likely, and I know that I don't have the ability to do anything about that.
Okay.
I'd rather be prepared.
I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm saying okay.
I'm an optimistic pessimist. Either I am right or I'm pleasantly surprised. Alright, that was all. God, I really do feel like it's Dragon Age. Yep, that's it. You're dismissed. I'm done talking to you.
All right. So, did anyone else have things they wanted to do this evening?
Uldoris goes to the temple. I don't know if there's anything that he experiences in there.
No. So basically, you go up to the temple and you follow your way through the easy directions to the left of the room you had been in before. You find a peaceful temple garden. The ground is that smooth sand, and inside you see maybe in a large 100-foot courtyard, maybe 2 or 3 bullywog monks, and they're all just kind of knelt down in the sand and eyes closed and breathing gently. You come in and find yourself a nice patch in here, facing the cherry tree that's in the center. Its blossoms cascading down onto the sand around you. And you're able to spend as long as you'd like here. Even the sounds of the forest seem to have quieted. There is no wind, no birds, no chirping of insects. All you have is yourself and your shadow.
I spend a while just in silence. Occasionally, I will look to my shadow. I assume it's pretty inactive.
Mhm.
And I spend some time just thinking about being the light bearer, or whatever term it is that they all keep referring to me as. And for a change, instead of trying to, I don't know, like draw the shadow towards me like I normally do, and become darker, he's going to spend a moment and try and I don't know, like channel his inner energy or whatever, and see if he can manifest this light.
Make a wisdom check.
Ugh. 9.
Sitting in the shadow, a full moon risen high above the canopy of trees, you think back to the first vision that you'd ever had and what it meant to you and the symbolism and everything, and you try to channel that very same feeling you had then for anything. You focus on the light, you focus on creating a beacon. And you focus intently so hard that you begin to see stars flash in your own eyes as you push yourself to create light in the palm of your hand. But nothing comes.
More of the same. Well, it was worth a shot. Off to bed then, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a long night. Let's go. And he says that to the shadow as he gets up and walks out.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything else before bed?
Much did I heal from the potion?
You took the regular, right?
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Not that it's gonna matter soon, but
Is Elen is still over in the corner brooding?
Yep.
Okay. I'll walk over before I start over and start, like, go to a quiet place and start scribing a scroll.
Okay. Easy enough done. Anyone else? All right. So, night comes. You all finish what you were working on that evening. You all eventually go to bed. In the temple, you are led to a guest chamber where there are not poor, not badly kept or anything, but simple straw mats and rudimentary pillows placed on the ground with blankets. Nothing 5-star, but for those living a simple life, it is a roof over the head and a warm place to sleep and dry compared to the rest of the swamp around you. And for some of you who are more used to the rugged terrain on the outside, it's almost a welcome reminder on sleeping on hard wood floors. Nonetheless, as morning comes, it is to the sound of droning voices in unison chanting out in the courtyard where Eldoras had been meditating the evening prior. It appears morning prayers are going on at the temple.
Eldoras quickly gets up and grabs whatever essentials he has laying around the room, and he's going to run out and make his way to that gathering.
Okay.
He's going to try and join in.
You run out and you see about 15 of them all kneeling in a respective line facing that cherry tree in the center, and their voices all discordantly joined in one long string of one note. You find a spot and sit down and begin your own meditation to this droning white noise in the background. You passed Masuda in the hallway, who was waiting by the open doorway to the inner sanctum. The rest of you.
I'd also like to observe.
Okay.
Or more observe than participate.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I am just reading my tome and preparing spells.
Nerd.
Bernie?
This is the night?
Morning.
Oh, morning. I'm doing what Bertie does. I'm making sure everybody's well fed.
All right, you begin preparing breakfast and sip.
Excuse me, sorry.
How dare you?
See, Paula's gonna make a cup of tea, and then she's gonna go sit on the top stair and kind of just look out towards the direction that Glaive is in, so I guess north. And just kind of stare and drink her tea.
Okay. Make a perception check, and while you're doing that, the rest of you watch for about 20 minutes as the choir of Bullywog monks eventually cease their song. They place their heads down, forehead to the sand, and spend a good 30 seconds there, arms placed on the ground in front of them, their backs arched into the air a little bit, and then eventually, one by one, they slowly stand and begin to leave the garden area. What'd you get, Sapala?
23.
23.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, we'll come back to that. So what are the rest of you going to do as everyone's leaving?
Grab breakfast and wait for everyone to gather.
All right. So as you go back to Benedictus, who is preparing breakfast, Masuda in the hallway kind of like tries to get your attention as you're walking by. Like,
well, yeah, we'll just ignore him.
Where are you heading out today?
We need to talk about it. I think so, but it's not my decision alone.
Before you go, I was going to teach you one final thing.
All right.
The way of key drain.
Is that what you did to me in that fight?
It
No
is.
duel.
It is a very powerful ability. And not one to be taken lightly.
I don't.
It will take a couple of hours to teach, but a lifetime to master.
All right. I'll just. I'm gonna be training with Masuda for a few hours.
Not until you finish your breakfast. I work hard on that.
Save me some breakfast.
You cannot eat your breakfast.
I don't think Bernie has one of these.
What?
What did he say?
You can eat your breakfast.
Oh, all right then.
All right. So you eat your breakfast and then rejoin Masuda, and he hands you a small brass tube and a small wooden stick.
Okay.
He leads you into the center of the temple, where you see several pots that are all brass as well and ordained with carvings of dragons all around the outside, and each one is filled with a different color sand. He then pulls out a small scroll, and on it you see an intricately designed, perfectly symmetrical drawing of what appears to be a sort of lotus flower, with many different colors spreading through it, all interwoven into this beautiful cascade of geometry.
This is the path of the key that flows through the body. You will replicate this symbol with this sand.
All right.
So he leads you over to one of the pots and shows you how to scoop the sand into the brass tube, and then using the wooden stick to tap the end of the brass tube. And as you tap it, just a few granules of sand come out the end where it comes to a point. And you realize why it's going to take several hours to complete this symbol, tapping it grain of sand by grain of sand at a time. I would like you to make a dexterity check.
Just thinking, this sounds awful to George. Vale is intrigued. George is horrified. Let's go Serenade. Dex check.
Yep.
Not save. Ah! Ooh. Oh, damn it. I thought that was an 18. It's a 10? 16.
16. So, with the rest of you going about your day in Karu Village, every once in a while popping by to see Vale for the next couple of hours, you work diligently to recreate this symbol, grain for grain. Masuda showing you a couple times where you've made errors and helping you fix them. And as you continue working the pattern, it starts to make sense to you. You start to follow how it's flowing from corner to corner and how the key energy could be channeled not only to pull but to push key energy back and forth in this flowing motion, like a flower on a wave, going up and down, matching its same position in space and time, but still moving with its wave. And as you put the final grains into this symbol, it flashes, and your key energy surges for a moment in your body, and you feel this deep connection as it goes into you. And you have gained the key drain ability.
Wow!
So I will send.
Oh,
I will send you the key drain text, but.
Thank you.
Is there an easy way to do that?
Do you have it as a picture or actual text?
Actual text.
Just you can send it to me through Messenger.
Yeah, I'm trying to copy it. It's just
or
not
Discord.
There we go. Sorry, technical difficulties. Anyway, so did anyone have things they wanted to do while Vale was doing that, or is everyone just going to be ready and waiting for him?
I had a
the only thing
23.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
You had a 23. We'll come back to that. Xavier?
I was just going to work on the enchantment.
this is.
Okay,
I
Elena,
thought-
anything? Elena?
No.
So Sapala, as you're sitting on the steps for a couple hours while Vale is working on this, gazing off. What?
Nothing. I was just.
Oh, gazing off into the Riffinmus jungle, you see what appear to be large flocks of birds moving in the distance, leaving the trees deep in the Riffinmus jungle, as if disturbed by some large creature or something. That's what you see with a 23.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do about that.
So, as Vale has finished and everyone is ready to go then?
So where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah.
What does
we
today?
believe we were gonna talk about it first.
Okay. And now is that opportunity. So everyone gathers to have this conversation.
So the Lich.
This is not what I thought at all.
How many days did we have to before we were supposed to go back to Hanyosai?
Oh no! Did we have a time limit?
I think it was like 2 days or something.
2 days. Was it?
I'm sorry?
I thought it was 3.
It was 3, I believe.
Oh crap.
Well, either way, we're already down 1.
Yeah.
I think we're down 2 because I don't think they. Is that including travel time?
They did not. You do not know.
Oh, great.
So what do we do?
Well, we could send a message that we're working on it.
I feel like we may have already sent a message when we
Mhm.
first got here.
Well, yeah.
They kind of attacked us first. Or tried to.
I don't think they'll see it that way.
Nope.
Exactly. And we did let one of them go.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is important, but I was staring out to the forest and this big flocks of birds flying out of the trees like they were being disturbed. But just throwing that out there.
That's ominous.
From
I
which
mean-
direction?
Killed a T-Rex
North.
a few days ago.
Ish.
Aren't most things in our lives right now?
Okay, I mean this in the nicest possible way. But can you add productive things rather than passive aggressive comments?
Wasn't passive aggressive. Observing of our situation.
Either way. So what are we trying to figure out right now? Are we dealing with the Lich or our
Our-
time limit?
Well, we need to deal with the time limit so we can. Well, we need to decide what we want to do about the situation we have between the two areas.
If we get to the Raps first, perhaps that will assist us in taking care of the tyrant and his friend.
It's possible.
The main reason we came here was for the Raps.
That's true.
So that's, as I see it, we still have 2 days.
We also acquiring the wraps does it slows down the cult.
Yes.
Nothing else. The Hanyosai appear to be fairly adept at keeping the cult at bay from traveling further south, as far as we know.
As we've seen firsthand.
Is Matsuta still in close proximity?
He is.
Uldoris will turn to him. What do you think we should attend to first?
I think that one often finds closure and doing the things they came to do. Often, helping one is helping the other. Perhaps this artifact may be of use to solving your problem.
Will you be okay until we get back?
He glances off to the north.
We will be as okay as I can promise.
Uldoris looks right to Vale. That's reassuring.
What do you, Suna, what do you know about the previous owner of the Raps?
Not much. I know that he was powerful. I know that he fought in a great war.
Do you know which war?
The
Do I know what war he's talking?
Make a history check.
Oh,
History or religion.
Can I make a history check?
Well, sure. Anyone who wants to make a history or religion check is more than welcome to make either.
Hadouken!
Yes.
17.
Let's do religion.
Wow.
It's gonna be the same.
Dirty 20 for Uldora.
Nine.
22. 22.
Okay. Anyone else?
I had a 9.
Okay, so
But
not
mine
wow,
was a
Xavier.
history check. Just
Okay,
Same.
not Xavier for once. Strangely,
I was trying
you're
to
not sure.
religion.
You're not sure what they're talking about, but the rest of you kind of piece together that the way he is talking about it would most likely be referred to as the calamity.
Okay.
Damn.
I like to think all of us just went, oh, the war. Oh.
And Aletta goes, he's old.
Well, he's a lich, so yeah. You're not wrong.
The more pertinent question is, how willingly would his spirit be willing to part with these?
Well, he's a lich.
I was going to ask that as well. Yes. Is there, if there's a chance we can acquire the Raps without resorting to combat, potentially preferable.
You're asking Masuda that, or
It's more just an out there rhetorical.
I feel like that's going to be very unlikely.
Likely.
It's likely unlikely?
It's likely to be unlikely. It made sense to me.
No, it makes sense to me too.
Okay, good.
Same.
either way, we're in agreement. That is our next course of action.
Yes.
Get the reps, and then we'll deal with
Horses.
Anyosai.
Right, okay.
Never mind.
What?
No. You want to say something, you say it. We're all good people here.
You don't get
Well,
to say
no.
and then back out.
It was more. Well, I don't know what war they're talking about, and that's probably just because I don't know anything about it.
Big war
Never mind.
between the gods.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
That
in simplest form.
It's
Wow,
the reason
yeah,
that the
that's
gods
it.
are divided from.
Good gods
Cal
versus
was also
bad gods.
breaking out, so I couldn't hear.
Ah,
Peggy, gush about it later.
what?
No, what?
I'm telling Peggy to inform Kayla about it out of
Oh,
character.
okay.
Yeah. I'll send you pictures of how they're.
Oh, by the way, Cal, did you want me?
Yes.
Did you want me to make an Arcana check or anything for my enchanting?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Lich then.
Seems like it.
Arcana?
Alright.
30.
Jeez.
You got some good start. You got a good start on him.
17 plus 13.
That's sick.
Nerd.
And I rolled the
All right.
There's
die
one
too.
question that's bugging the hell out of me, though.
Yes.
Well, traditionally, liches are powerful casters. My wondering is, why would he have these wraps that make your monkness more monk-like?
I can't quite say as to why, but all I know is that he's the previous owner of the wraps.
So he
I
might be a monk that has
Uh,
some magic ability.
believe it's likely.
It's likely
I-
that it's likely.
It is, yes, it is. I don't know much about the process of becoming a lich, but it's possible it was an unwilling thing. It's possible he dabbled. I don't know.
Would I be able to make a intelligence check about the lichification process?
Roll for lichification.
Damn it, I'm a Lich!
Shit!
Yes, but this DC is going to be insane.
This roll could be the Lich Pin in the whole.
Ah!
Intelligence or...
Boo!
Straight intelligence.
Sounds like anti-inspiration.
21?
Okay, so you were just looking for basic info on a lich, or
Just basic info like...
How does one become? Like
how
a
does
wiki
it
how
start?
okay, so you don't
Speak
know
for myself.
you don't exactly know the process. You know of the process. You don't know what it entails. You're aware of the basic concept of the phylactery, that it contains a piece of the soul. You're aware they're undead. You're not entirely sure how one goes about the ritual to become a lich, or even
Wait.
if there is only one way to do it.
So, Voldemort style, Harry Potter. Sort of?
I guess
Yeah, the Horcrux
That's-
is a piece of his soul.
that's the D&D lich has a phylactery which contains a fragment of their soul. That if that is not, you would know this, I guess, with a 21. That if a lich's phylactery is not destroyed, they regenerate in X amount of days.
Okay, question.
Mm-hmm.
Because since we know that the Lich is an undead, and undead are one of my favorite enemies.
Okay.
Sorry, hang on. I do get advantage. I can track and hunt the Lich.
We know where
Okay.
he is. Well, more or less.
Don't you have a sensibility where you can sense things in a
I
certain?
have primeval
Primeval
awareness.
awareness.
Yeah.
Ah, geez, guys, he's not here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awkward?
We're here
We'll
to
leave a
fight
note.
The
Yeah,
raptor
so,
just sitting
so
there.
I can primeval awareness the Lich and ascertain some information about him.
Damn it, he's back in Whitestone.
If they're present, their numbers, the creature's general direction and distance in miles.
Damn it, it's Makuta.
But I
Makuta.
can also hunt and track him because of favorite.
Makuna Matata?
Oh, I said his name wrong.
He said something else entirely.
All right.
Just to let y'all know that information.
Good to know.
Okay.
It is good to know.
It's very good to know.
Does anyone else have anything they want to do before we go? Before we get started?
I mean, we're on a time crunch, so it'd probably be best to go now.
Right.
Do the steeds.
Wow, this is the well.
Also, Cal,
Yes.
that dagger is it
Yes.
like a gaudy looking dagger?
It's more of a. You're talking about the
Dagger.
wounding one.
Yeah.
Not so much gaudy, more so much crude, like Daedric.
Okay. Okay.
Gross looking dagger.
Badass.
Could I just pull it out and like prestidigitation it, make it look better? I gotta get
You
my
make it-
use out of this cantrip.
Make it look what?
Just clean it up. Use prestidigitation to clean it up.
No, actually, as you cast prestidigitation, it seems to be kind of part of the dagger. It doesn't really clean off. It's and prestidigitation is not major illusion or minor illusion. It just the blood that is on it and the seems to be part of the blade.
Okay.
Aesthetics.
Well,
It is a magic blade.
I'll walk over to Elena. You let me have the dagger I currently have. How about this one in exchange? And I hand her the wounding dagger, and I explain what it is.
Dagger. Send me the stats.
You literally just look up wounding sword. It's just the same thing. It just
Wounding sword.
She stole the dagger from me. You just paid her for it.
well.
I am my mother's daughter.
Sure, but if I do anything, oh, that's bad.
I just felt bad.
All right, are we heading out?
I also want to walk over to Oldoris. I don't know how you feel about everyone knowing who you are, but I did come across this, and I pull out the Fan of Many Faces. This will let you do have to attune to it, but this will let you disguise yourself. If you didn't want people to recognize you as you know, a possible prophecy child. So if they didn't want to go tell other people, you could use this.
Does it disguise my shadow too? He's asking in a sarcastic tone.
I can identify it again.
I like how you had to say it was sarcastic.
I believe you are able to control your shadow to a degree. I hand him the fan.
He takes it. Not really knowing what to do with it, but understanding the concept. We'll see if it becomes useful at some point.
If it doesn't, and you don't need it anymore, I'm willing to take it back.
I mean, I don't think it's going to make a difference what I look like to a lich. So
No, but traveling in this area probably would help. Or if you want to get away from your family.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
As you're turning and walking away, he says, "Well, the sentiment is good, but I feel like she has probably got eyes on me everywhere I go, no matter what, and she'll know who I am regardless. I just have that feeling about her."
Family can be crazy. I don't know too much about that. I have quite a few sisters.
Oh, you have a big family?
Yeah. Take Elena's family times like 3.
I don't know if I envy you or if I pity you.
I don't get to see them all the time. But a family's nice to have.
Well, I feel like I found mine. Hopefully we don't all get ourselves killed. Where's Laura and Anandul?
They're still down in the village.
What? God damn it. Now we gotta explain the whole plan again.
You're cat's like, no.
For brevity's sake, we'll say that during the party they said they're gonna they're gonna stay here in the village just in case the Hanyosai show up.
All right.
Smart.
Okay.
Could we have gotten them before our planning session?
Yes.
Excellent.
At some point, Uldoris would have asked Laura, "So, you like adventures? You want to go kill a lich?"
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's
Hell
how we
yeah.
recruited her.
That was the whole plan.
I thought they were staying though. What happened?
Well,
Adoris, that's horny.
they did. Ow. They stayed the night in the village.
Okay.
Damn cat.
Well, that's what our plan is to do. We're heading up.
All right.
If you have coin.
I'm ready to kick its ass. How about you, Oli? Dory? Dory. I like Dory better.
No. Don't push it.
Yeah.
Or I'll
Wow,
make
you
you
are
ride in the
trying
back with an
very hard.
underworld for the whole.
Another
Let's
thing.
go. Let's go kill a witch.
Lich.
Lich.
Which lich?
It could be a
Lich.
wolf.
Let's go kill something. I'm getting bored.
Same.
Another thing I have, I'm going to reach in my bag and pull out 3 basic healing potions that I bought in
My God,
Singapore.
he's Santa Claus.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, that's great. I was gonna pull out some healing potions, but I want to see how much he gives.
I have 4 of them and have 3. I'm going to hand 1 to Elena. And these are the Singorn night ones. I don't know if there's any added bonus.
No.
Oh.
So they're just normal healing potions?
+1
I
to damage.
I thought they had special because I bought them at night in Singorn.
+1
Oh,
damage.
remind me that later when I can relook that up.
Okay.
But I'll double check that.
But I'll hand 1 to Elena, Singorn special.
Okay.
I'll hand 1 to Uldoris.
It's like in a wine bottle.
Just
No,
put
trust
the
me, it's
aerator-
healing.
Just put the aerator in there. I hand 1 to Vale. I think you need this the most.
It's Singorn special.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I just light my pocket by like 5 pounds.
I will hand a basic healing potion to Laura and a basic healing potion to Anandawal. Because I basically mugged that guy who had a bag of potions in Whitestone.
Oh, you don't want me to die.
No.
Beak is still on her head.
My brain just went snarky response. That's a bad idea.
All right. So you all turn and face the long hallway that leads deep into the mountain face of Keru Village. As you walk, the air gets warmer and warmer and warmer as you progress deeper and deeper into the cliff face. Eventually, you see the light that is at the other end of this hallway, getting brighter and brighter as you walk steadily. Laura leading the way, her sword blazing in front of her as a torch in this otherwise completely dark hallway.
Could I have quickly cast ritual, detect magic as we were finishing up, canning things out as we started walking in?
It takes like 10 minutes to ritual cast, right?
Yes, and I have it for 10 minutes after.
Okay, so you want to be casting it as you're walking down the hall?
If you allow me to ritual cast as I walk.
Sure. Okay, so you cast detect magic. Nothing is immediately standing out to you. And as you get to the end of the hallway...
Yes, Van.
Yes?
Oh, wait.
No, go ahead.
Believe Elena and I are looking for traps.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh,
make
can I also cast Password Trace?
Sure.
I mean,
There it is. Oh, we should start stealthing now, huh?
probably.
Just cast Pass Without Trace, none of us stealth.
All right, stealth checks and investigation checks for traps.
This is gonna be the best stealth check ever. I'm
So
excited.
everyone has a +10 bonus to your stealth check.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, what the hell else am I rolling?
Yeah, should we just... yeah, let's just post
Investigation sucks. Whatever. That's an 8 for investigation.
27?
I'm too enthralled by my...
Throw it in chat.
27?
Yeah.
Did you add your plus 10?
I rolled a 4.
That's rough.
What'd you roll?
Math is hard. I think I got one less than you.
Oh.
Uh,
I got pretty high.
29 on investigation.
yeah, 36.
On investigation or on...
I rolled okay.
That was a stealth.
Okay.
Okay.
I rolled
so,
a 29 on investigation and a 26 on stealth.
So Bernie has a unnatural 20.
Nice.
Stealth.
Sapala
I got a 22.
Your cat
and
is-
Eldorez.
Your cat is very interesting.
26.
Interested in something on the
Okay.
wall there.
So-
Isn't Pass Without Trace so nice, guys?
Plus 10
I
plus,
mean-
plus your modifiers are it's amazing.
It
So,
really is.
stealthing down the hallway, checking for traps, Elena, you don't seem to see anything. The stone here seems perfectly smoothly cut into the natural rock formation that made up this cliff. You don't even see any seams or tool marks or indents, just this one perfectly smooth hallway going all the way down. And as the light brightens and you get to the end, it opens up into a massive cavern, easily the ceiling 200 to 300 feet in the air, the circumference of this room potentially going for miles. And as it opens up, you see a whole ecosystem inside this cavern. You see trees growing up, palm trees stretching toward this faint like skylight in the ceiling that is cascading downward. Large formations of hovering mist throughout the trees as water vapor from whatever river or lake lies beneath the canopy of trees evaporates to the roof of the ceiling and then falls back down as condensation, bringing new water to the trees below. You see from the back wall of this massive cavern a flow of molten rock cascading downward, giving a red glow, ominous, behind a large, multiple-stepped Aztec-style pyramid.
Oh,
Question.
Yeah. I put
Answer.
those words together differently in my head.
Can I primeval awareness the dead guy? Or the lich?
For undead.
What? You are primeval awarenessing undead?
Yes.
Oh,
Does
Okay.
this pyramid type structure resemble at all, aside of the fact that it's pyramid shaped,
The one that we found under
the one under
Whitestone.
Whitestone?
The
Yes.
ziggurat.
It
So-
definitely looks like the ziggurat, except for maybe 4 times larger.
right.
Oh,
Because I assume we're going in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as you stop for a moment and think of your hatred for undead and your focus on them as your favored enemy.
Okay, do
You-
you want to read primeval awareness to you just so you know?
Sure. Go ahead.
It says, your mastery established
You're cutting out.
lawfully-
Immediately cuts out.
Oh, damn it. Did you hear?
If you have it on your character sheet, just post that through chat.
I do.
Oh, I can just actually open her character sheet.
That'd probably be easier. I misheard initially. I heard a textile pyramid. I was like, huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
as
Yeah, no, that was
style.
my brain doing stupid
Yours?
shit. Yep. I'm good. I want to Google textile pyramid, see what comes up.
There you
Holy
go.
Oh
cow.
my gosh.
It's just, I guess it's the format of it. Like,
Oh God, what the hell?
Brandon Lorenz. If you, oh no, even if you stretch it out.
Oh, textile pyramid.
Is it a thing?
Yeah, well, kinda. It's little fabric pyramids.
Yeah.
Kind of neat looking.
Gets a textile pyramid tattooed on self.
Okay. So, as you attune your senses to your favored enemies, focusing specifically on the undead at the moment, you open your eyes and are overwhelmed by the sheer force of undead nature in this cavern. As you sense the numbers, in the thousands.
Guys?
And as you sense direction and distance, within 20 feet is the nearest.
I put my hands up to stop everyone.
And that's when you look around and see that you are currently at the edge of a boneyard. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Dun dun dun.
Wow.
Dun dun.
Primeval awareness is great, guys.
Aren't you so glad that you have that?
My
I'm
investigation
so glad.
sucks.
Thank you for joining us on tonight's episode. We, had fun. Glad you guys came along. And make sure you get yourself checked for chlamydia.
All right then.
Wow.
That's the way to end it. That's
the
way to end that. All right.
I don't know. I wasn't sure.
Man.
Oh
My
my
only
gosh.
wish is that when we fight this lich, that I don't get eaten.
Oh, you won't get eaten. You may have
Yeah.
the life drained from your body, but you won't get eaten.
No, he's too
Most
small.
likely.
I'm just,
Maybe.
I don't want to keep being swallowed. It's like a theme.
I
That's
mean,
fair.
unless he does the thing like all the mummies do from the mummy movies, where
Oh,
his
no.
mouth just goes really big and his chin drops down to his knees.
You're
and,
not helping, Steven. You're not
If that
helping.
happens,
Ending the
If
stream
that
now.
happens, see
Good
how
night,
it's done.
Snuggles.
Oh, good night. I didn't
She's
realize
just
we were
gonna
still in
kill me.
guys.
Oh, I didn't either.
Jeez.